The Fado That Wouldn't End. On a narrow cobblestone street in Lisbon, where yellow trams hummed past tiled buildings, Clara Mendez adjusted the lantern outside her family's small fado house. Inside, the scent of grilled sardines and strong coffee mingled with anticipation. Tourists whispered, locals leaned back knowingly, and at precisely 9 o'clock, as she had every night for 40 years, Señora Beatriz would begin to sing. Except tonight, she didn't. Clara checked her watch again. 9:05. Beatriz was never late. Not once. Not for rain, not for illness, not even for the night the power went out, and she sang by candlelight. Clara slipped behind the velvet curtain and found Beatriz's shawl draped neatly over a chair. Her guitar rested against the wall, but the singer herself was gone. On the small wooden table lay a single blue azulejo tile. Clara picked it up carefully. It wasn't from the restaurant. The design was intricate. White swallows circling a faded tower. On the back, written in careful ink, "Some songs are older than we remember." A chill crept up Clara's arms. She hurried outside. The Alfama district was alive with music from other houses, but she heard no sign of Beatriz's unmistakable voice. Then she noticed something odd. Across the street, old Señor Duarte stood beside his shuttered antique shop. He was staring, not at Clara, but at the tile in her hand. "You've seen this before," Clara said, stepping toward him. Duarte hesitated. "Not for many years." "Where does it come from?" He glanced toward the Tagus River, glittering under the moonlight. "From before the revolution, before the tourists, before the silence." Clara frowned. "What silence?" Duarte lowered his voice. "There was a night, 1973, a secret gathering. Musicians who sang songs the regime did not approve of. They met in hidden rooms along these streets. And someone betrayed them." The words seemed to echo between the buildings. Duarte gestured toward the old clock tower above the square. "That tile marks the houses that sheltered them." Clara's breath caught. Beatriz had been young in 1973. She looked again at the swallows circling the tower. "Where was the gathering held?" Clara asked. Duarte studied her carefully. "In the cellar beneath what is now the closed bakery on Rua da Saudade." Clara didn't hesitate. The bakery's wooden door creaked as she pushed it open. Dust floated in the beam of her lantern. At the back of the room, behind sacks of flour long turned to powder, a narrow staircase led down. She descended slowly. At the bottom, candlelight flickered, and there, standing before a small circle of elderly musicians, was Señora Beatriz. She was singing. Not the polished, mournful fado she performed for guests, but something rawer, braver, a song filled with coded verses and defiant longing. When she finished, silence hung in the air. Then Beatriz saw Clara. "I was wondering when you'd follow the tile," she said softly. Clara stepped forward. "You left without a word." Beatriz smiled faintly. "Some songs were never meant for the stage, only for those who remember." Clara looked around the cellar. On the wall were more tiles, each bearing the swallow and tower. "You were part of this," Clara realized. Beatriz nodded. "We sang hope into the dark, but someone told the authorities. We were scattered, afraid. I never knew who betrayed us." Clara glanced toward the staircase. She remembered Duarte's eyes when he saw the tile. "You said someone betrayed you," Clara said carefully. "Was there an antique dealer among you?" Beatriz's expression shifted. "Yes." Clara felt the pieces fall into place. "Duarte wasn't staring at the tile because he remembered the songs," she said quietly. "He was afraid the past had come back." The cellar door creaked again. Footsteps descended, and there stood Duarte, hat in hand. "I was 17, he said before anyone could speak. "They told me my father would lose his shop, that my family would suffer." His voice trembled. "I gave them the names." The room held its breath. Beatriz studied him for a long moment. "Did you come to confess?" she asked, "or to stop us?" Duarte shook his head. To listen, I have listened outside this cellar for 50 years. Silence stretched. Then Beatrice lifted her chin. Then listen properly. She began to sing again. This time, Duarte stepped fully into the light. And above them, in the narrow streets of Lisbon, the fado that once had been silenced carried softly into the night, no longer a secret, no longer unfinished. Some songs, Clara realized, don't end. They wait.